You are watching Junior Certificate Mathematics lesson. Today we are working on revision mathematics paper 2. This is a structured paper, so you should have with you a calculator and a set of mathematical instruments. Let us have a look at the revision questions and work them out. The first question says, the diagram shows the pure speed time graph during a race. So this is a speed time graph. And then the diagram is here, which you are to use. And then you need to look at the questions that you are expected to answer using this graph. The first question says you are to calculate the acceleration during the first 5 seconds of the race. So this is what the question is required to do. It is saying you should calculate the acceleration during the first 5 seconds of the race. The 5 seconds of the race is from the 0 mark up to the 5 on the horizontal axis, because that's where our time is. And then to calculate the acceleration here, in a speed time graph, the slope of the line represents acceleration. So it means you are going to calculate the slope of the line from the point 0, up to the point 5, 10. Because we're saying in a speed time graph, the slope of the line represents acceleration. So you have to calculate the slope of the line here. And then how do you find the slope of the line? The slope of the line is given as y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. And then the line is here on the diagram. So all that you need to do is to pick 2 points along this line and then use those 2 points to calculate the slope of the line. The first point is the point 0, We can see there is a point 0 here. And then we got the point 5, 10. So another point is 5, 10. So we can use these 2 points to calculate the slope of the line. And then let's use them and find out what the slope will be. We're saying the points that we are going to use are 0, and the other point is 5, 10. We are to use these points to calculate the slope of the line. And then this simply means it will be, the slope of this line will be 10 minus 0 divided by 5 minus 0. And then this will be 10 minus 0 is 10. So this will be 10 divided by 5 minus 0 is 5. Meaning the slope of the line here is 10 divided by 5. 5 here once, 5 into 10 is 2. So this is simply saying the slope is 2 here. And then the question says you are to calculate acceleration. So this simply means the acceleration is equals to 2 meters per second squared. This is the acceleration. In a speed time graph, the slope of the line represents acceleration. So if you are asked to calculate acceleration for a given portion within the speed time graph, all that you need to do is to calculate the slope of the line at that point. And here, this is what we did. We picked 2 points along the line, 0, and the point 5, 10. Then we use those 2 points to find the slope of the line. And then what about part B? Part B says you are to calculate the total distance run by the pure in meters. So this is what you are expected to calculate. It says you are to calculate the total distance run by the pure in meters. In a speed time graph, the area under the graph represents the distance traveled. So this simply means for us to find the total distance traveled, we simply need to find the area under the graph. So let us find the area under the given graph here. This is the graph that we are using, and then we can see that this is a trapezium. It is a trapezium with length. What is the length of this trapezium? Rather, the top of this trapezium is given as it's 5, 10, 15 is 15 units. And then the bottom part, it's 25. And then the height is 10. So we can apply the formula for calculating the area of a trapezium. This will give us the total distance traveled. So this simply means the total distance traveled is equals to the area of the trapezium. So this will be half times the top plus the bottom, and then close the bracket and then multiply this by the height. So this will be half times the top is 15 units, so it's 15 plus the bottom is 25. The bottom is 25 units. So this simply means it will be 15 plus 25, close the bracket, times the height. And then what is the height? The height of this graph is 10 units. It's from the 0 up to the 10. So this simply means the height of this graph is 10 units. So we'll use 10 as the height. So this will be times 10. It's times 10. And then this will simplify to half times 15 plus 25. This is just 25 times 15. Rather, 25 plus 15. 5 plus 5 is a 0. Carry 1, 3, 4. So this simply means 25 plus 15 is 40. So it's half times 40 times the 10. And then 2 here once. 2 into 4, 2. 2 into 0, 0. And this is simply saying the total distance traveled. The total distance traveled is 20 times 10. And then what is 20 times 10? 20 times 10 is equals to 200. And to answer this question, the total distance traveled, total distance it's equals to 200 meters. It's 200 meters. This is how we find the total distance traveled in a speed time graph. To find the total distance traveled, you simply find the area under the graph. And then let's also understand that in a speed time graph, if you are expected to calculate acceleration at a given point, all that you need to do is to calculate the slope of the line. And to calculate the slope of the line, you simply need 2 points along that line. You pick 2 points along that line and then calculate the gradient of that line. The gradient represents acceleration. We are revising Junior Certificate Mathematics Paper 2, which is a structured paper. And then we are still working on a distance time graph where the question asked is based on the distance time graph provided. Let us go to question C of this part. It says find the Pierce average speed in meters per second. We have calculated the distance. We found the distance to be 200 meters. And then it says we find the average speed in meters per second. Speed is equals to distance over time. And then what is our distance? D is 200. This is the total distance traveled. And then the time. What is the time taken? We need to check the time taken. It's 25 seconds. So this will be 200 over, it's 200 meters over 25 seconds. And then this will be 5 here, it's 5. 5 into 20, it's 4. So this is simply saying this is 40 meters divided by 5 seconds. And then this will be 40 divided by 5. 5 here once. 5 into 40, it's 8. So this is simply saying the average speed is 8 meters per second. This is the speed. And then let us have a look at another question, because we are working on revision here. So for us to revise this, we need to look at the questions. So we are at question number 2. The question number 2 says the table below shows the values of x and the corresponding values of y for the equation y equals to 9 minus 2x minus x squared. Then use it to answer questions that follow. So this is the given information, and then there's a table here. Part A says calculate the value of r. You are expected to find the value of r. So what will be the value of r here? The equation is 9 minus 2 times x. So instead of having x, we will substitute 3 for x, because this is simply saying find the value of r is simply the value of y when x is 3. So instead of x here, we'll substitute 3. So this will be 9 minus 2 times 3 minus 3 squared. And then this will be 9 minus 2 times 3 is minus 6 minus 9, because minus 3, we are to square the 3, they are not negative, but the 3, because the value of x is 3. So upon squaring 3, we'll get 9. So this will be minus 9. And then 9 minus 9 is 0, meaning r will be equals to negative 6. This is the value of r. R is equals to negative 6. And then B, use the grid below to draw the graph of the equation y equals to 9 minus 2x minus x squared. So there is a grid provided, and then you are to use the grid to draw the graph of the function 9 minus 2x minus x squared. And then let's have a look at the grid provided and draw this. We have the grid here, and then let's understand that we calculated r, and then we found out that r is equals to negative 6 from the previous question. So our r is 6. We are now going to plot these points. The first point is minus 5, minus 6. We plot these points in this grid provided. Minus 5, minus 6. We have to plot the point minus 5, minus 6. It's minus 5, minus 6. It's a point here. Minus 5, minus 6, it's here. And then the other point is minus 1, rather minus 4, 1. Minus 4, 1, it's point here. And then the other one is minus 3, 6. Minus 3, 6, it's here. And then we have minus 2, 9. Minus 2, 9, it's here. And then minus 1, 10. Minus 1, 10, it's here. And then 0, 9, 0, 9, and then 1, 6, 1, 6, and then 2, 1, the point here. And then the last one is 3, negative 6, 3, negative 6, it's here. So we have managed to plot the points. After plotting these points now, you are expected to draw the graph y equals to 9 minus 2x minus x squared. And to draw this graph, you use freehand. So all that you are going to do is to make sure that you produce a smooth curve using freehand. This curve, you are going to use it to answer some questions that will follow. And it's very important that it's accurate to avoid loss of marks. And this is how the curve will look like. This is the graph y equals to 9 minus 2x minus x squared, and it's a quadratic curve. And then we have managed to draw the curve. What about the next question? The next question says you are to draw the graph of the line y equals to 6 on the grid above. So using the very same grid, draw the line y equals to 6, and then How do you draw the line y equals to 6? The line y equals to 6 cuts the y-axis at 6. It is a horizontal line cutting the y-axis at 6. And you need to draw this. How do you draw this? Take a ruler and then draw a line such that it cuts the y-axis at 6. And this is how the line will be drawn. Line y equals to 6. This is the line y is equals to 6. This is the line y equals to 6. Y is equals to 6. And then we have managed to draw that line. And then what's the next question? Question D says, use your graph to find the value of x that satisfy the equation y equals to 6 and the curve y equals to 9 minus 2x minus x squared. So you have to use the graph that you have, rather the line that you have drawn, and then find out the solution to the line y equals to 6 as well as the curve 9 minus 2x minus x squared. The solution to this will be the points where the line cuts the curve. So in our diagram, we can see that the line is cutting the curve at x equals to -3 and at x equals to 1. So those are the solutions of this equation. X equals to -3 and x is equals to 1, because that's where the line cuts the curve. So this simply means, it says, use your graph to find the value of x that satisfies the equation y equals to 6 and the curve y equals to 9 minus 2x minus x squared. So we are saying the values of x are x equals to -3 and x equals to 1. So x equals to -3 and x is equals to 1. You are to make sure that you use the answers from your graph. It is very important that you use the answers from the graph, because the question says use your graph to find the value of x that satisfies the equation y equals to 6 and the curve y equals to 9 minus 2x minus x squared. And remember, to find the solution to this, you simply look at where the line that you are asked to draw cuts the curve. In this situation, we can see that the line is cutting the curve at x equals to -3 and at x equals to 1. So those are the solutions. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with this exercise. We are still revising mathematics paper 2, which is a structured paper. And we are working on a question based on a graph. And the next question on this says, find the values of x for the equation y equals to x plus 5 and y equals to 9 minus 2x minus x squared using your graph. So we are to find the solution to y equals to x plus 5 and 9 minus 2x minus x squared. And remember, we are to use the graph that we have drawn. So we have to go back to the graph and draw the line y equals to x plus 5. So let's go back and draw the line y equals to x plus 5. Y is equals to x plus 5. All that you need to draw this line is to come out with a table of values, where you can have x here and then y, and then you can choose the value of x to be, if you choose -5, if you choose -5, and then what will be the value of y? The value of y will be -5 plus 5, so the value of y will be 0. And then if you choose your x to be 5, this simply means if you choose your x to be 5, it will be 5 plus 5, and then the value of y will be 10. And then if you choose the value of x to be 2, it will be 2 plus, the value of x is 2, it will be 2 plus 5, and then this will be 7. And then you can plot these. 0, negative 5 is the point here. And then the next point, 5, 10, 5, and then 10 is the point here. It's 5, 10, 5, and then 10 is the point here. And then the other point is 2, 7. 2, 7 is the point here. Now all that you need to do is to take a ruler and then draw a line joining these, and the line, in fact this point here, this is the point 5, 9. It's supposed to be 5, 10, not 5, 9, but 5, 10. This is supposed to be 5, 5, 10. The point is there. So this will be the line y is equals to x plus 5. That is the line y equals to x plus 5. And then it says you are to find the solutions to this. All that you need to do is to check where the line cuts the curve. Just like we did with the first situation where we draw the line y equals to 6. So here the line is y equals to x plus 5. And then you need to check where the line cuts the curve. The line y equals to x plus 5 cuts the curve at minus 4. It's here, minus 4, and at x equals to 1. So these are the solutions that we expected to find. So this simply means x is equals to 1 or x is equals to negative 4. X equals to negative 4. These are the solutions that you are expected to find. Remember, you get these solutions from your graph. Therefore, it is very important that you draw an accurate graph. Otherwise, the answers won't be within the range that is needed. We have now finished working out questions involving a graph. Let us now have a look at another question. And this question is what we call an algebraic fraction, where you are expected to express a given algebraic fraction as a single fraction. And the question is m plus 3 over 6 minus m plus 2 over 5. So you are expected to express this as a single fraction. To do this, we simply look for the lowest common multiple of 6 and 5. And then the lowest common multiple of 6 and 5 is 30. And then 6 into 30 is 5. So this will be 5 here. Open the brackets, because this 5 is going to multiply the numerator. And the numerator here is m plus 3. Close the bracket. And then minus 5 into 30 is 6. And then open the bracket. The 6 is multiplying the numerator. The numerator is m plus 2. And then close the bracket. This will be 5 times m is 5m. Remember, the 5 here is multiplying everything inside the bracket. So this will be 5 times m, giving 5m. And then 5 times 3 is plus 15. And then minus 6 times m is minus 6m. And then minus 6 times 2 is minus 12. The whole thing divided by 30. The minus 6 here is multiplying everything inside the bracket. The minus 6 is multiplying the term m plus 2. So remember to multiply the 2 as well by minus 6 to get minus 12. And then upon simplifying, this will be, we just collect the like terms. 5m minus 6m plus 15 minus 12 divided by 30. It's divided by 30. And then this will be 5m minus 6m, it's minus m. And then plus 15 minus 12 is plus 3. The whole thing divided by 30. This is the answer to the question m plus 3 divided by 6 minus m plus 2 divided by 5. That's how we express a given fraction as a single fraction rather. And then we have come to the end of this lesson. But before we part, I want to encourage you to make sure that you always show your working, because in this paper, if you don't show your working, it will result in you losing marks. It is very important that every time when you work out a question, you show working so that you don't lose marks. That is all I had for you, Junior Certificate Mathematics learners. Until we meet again the next lesson, goodbye.